Now, jumping up might feel friendly until somebody gets hurt. Now, before we go into actually fixing my mate Bruno's terrible jumping behaviours, that is one of the reasons that he keeps getting sent back to the rescue centre, we have to go into this process understanding that when Bruno meets somebody new, so we're out in the real world and we meet someone, Bruno is with the owner and one of two things happen. Now imagine he's going down a road and now the road's just become a bit of a fork in the road. One option is that he does what he wants to do, which is to jump up them, is to get close to their face, is to be silly and bad-mannered. The other option is for him to do what we want him to do, which in this context is going to be just sitting down, being by our side, being a nice, well-mannered canine companion that you can take with you anywhere that you want to go. What is happening right now is that every time we meet somebody, Bruno is just going straight down that behaviour pathway that is not a good pathway for him. What we want him to do is go down this pathway. So we have to do two things. First thing, we have to make this pathway as appealing as possible for him. So we need to do lots of fun, obedience, food-based work, treat-based work, nice work to make this route be full of rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and all the lovely things. So that when he meets this fork in the road, he goes, ooh, doing this looks nice, going down this pathway looks nice. Then hopefully he just chooses that pathway. The reality is though, is that most dogs don't, is they'll still go down this pathway. So then we have to find ways to barricade off that pathway. So when he hits that fork in the road and he goes, oh, I used to go this way every time, but that's closed. That road is shut down. I can't go that way anymore. What should I do? Well, I know this pathway and I know this pathway is really good. So I'm just going to go down this pathway. And over time, rather than him hitting that fork in the road and going, oh no, I wanted to do that one. Okay, I better go this way though, but I'd love to go that way. What we want to do is get to a point where he hits this and goes, yep, sweet, I'm going down here. That's the process that I'm going to be working on with Bruno, and I'm going to take you along on that journey. So let's look at what the first stage of that process actually is. So then we have to start by thinking about what is the behavior decision that we want him to make. What is the problem behavior, him jumping up people every time he sees them? So let's take a step back and think, what would we like him to do instead? So what I would like him to do is when I meet somebody in public, is for him to stay in a heel position and to sit and wait calmly with good manners. So the first thing I have to do is teach him how to do that. It doesn't mean that he'll then do it every time. We have to look through the next steps, which we'll show you later on in this video. But we need to know what it is that we want him to do so that we can then make that behavior choice, the choice that we force him down and make him want to choose in the first place. Now, my mate Bruno came to me with terrible obedience and no obedience fundamentals at all. So I had to start the process with first conditioning a marker word. I was just using a yes word for him instead of a clicker, easier to hand over to his forever home when they adopt him. Then I had to teach him how to follow a law. Then when I taught him how to follow a law, I was able to start shaping the behavior. And we've taught him a nice heel, a nice sit, and we've been working on a down as well, just for a bit of polish, but it certainly isn't mandatory in this capacity. Then we start doing it in more and more distracting environments, which is exactly what we're working on in this session. So it's a little bit hot, but I'm gonna get him going. Bruno, heel, yes. So I can get him in the heel position nicely. Shape him back up a little bit, sit, yes. Down, yes. Sit, yes. Down, see it, look, you're dropping it, yes. Heel, yes. And even though I'm coming right up to the cameraman, which he could jump up now, sit, yes. I'm keeping him focused on the engagement that I need from him. If he makes mistakes, I'm just bringing him back to where I need him to be. And then over repetitions and repetitions of this, plus all the things that we're going to talk about in the next steps of the process, we can take him from making the wrong decision every time then teaching him what the right decision is, making that right decision as positive and as reinforcing as possible, then communicate to him what the wrong decision is, and we'll show you those next steps now. Now, just because we've taught my mate Bruno the behavior that we do want from him when he meets other people, it doesn't mean that he's actually going to do it. Just because he now knows a nice heel and a nice sit doesn't mean that when a guest comes over that he's going to do that instead. There's a couple more steps that we need to do, and the first thing that we need to make sure that we're focusing on, which is good for jumping but is good for every other aspect of you and your dog's life, is what we refer to as impulse control. You have to put yourself in my mate Bruno's situation. Somebody walks over to us and Bruno wants to jump up them. That's the behavior that he wants to do. I need to at some point communicate to him that that's not acceptable, but that doesn't change the fact that that's what he wants to do in that situation. What we want him to do is to sit and be polite and calm with good manners. So what he needs to understand is that when he's faced with that decision, what he needs to be able to do is control his impulse to jump, remain calm and focused enough on me to listen to what it is that I want him to do instead. And that is called impulse control. Now, do we teach impulse control around jumping? Well, that is going to be something that we're going to do in every single interaction that he has with people longer term. But to help him get impulse control for jumping, but also for loose lead walking, also for recall, also for basic manners, you name it, impulse control is important. The way that I love to teach it is exactly like this. It's with a place, stay style of training. Because right now, his impulses are asking or pleading or begging him to get off and go and do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to stay on that place board. But what I'm teaching him is that if I ask you to stay there, you must stay there. But if you do stay there, then good things are going to happen, and I'm going to come and reward you for doing so. And what we're doing is we're putting him in situations where now I can start to build this distance away from him, so I can come all the way and be right by the cameraman and know that he's going to stay on that placeboard. I've added distance. I'm also adding duration between how long I go back and pay him. And then over time, we're also adding distraction. So right now it's quite low distraction, but we'll get to a point where we get him to be able to do this. And as you can see, so this is a perfect example happening in front of our eyes. He's getting frustrated and struggling to control his impulses. So I'm going to challenge this bad decision if he continues to do it. I'm going to give him an opportunity to make a better decision, which hopefully will be just to relax and settle down. But this is exactly what's going on in his head right now. He is fighting with the impulses to get off. And I'm going to wait, and if he lets those impulses win, I'm going to challenge that decision. If he continues to control those impulses and stay on the place board, then he's going to get a big reward. But this right now in front of you is perfect impulse control training. What I was saying is that we'll also, over time, add up the distractions. So we'll start bringing toys out. We'll start bringing other dogs out. We'll start taking this to other places in the future to make it harder and harder for him to control those impulses. Because if he can control his impulse in high distraction environments for long durations of time, like we're working on now, with distance, then when it comes to asking him to sit and wait nicely when we're greeting people to stop him jumping up, that'll be a breeze for him. That'll be light work. Now this I'm really happy with. So I'm gonna go back in and let him know that I'm really happy with the decision that you've just made there, that you fought those impulses, you stayed on the place bed, you got a little bit frustrated, and when you started barking and considering getting off, I just ignored it. If you got off, I would have interrupted that decision and challenged it, but I gave him time to make a good decision, and he made a good decision, and I came back and I paid him for making that great decision. But this is wonderful. Impulse control, it's so important for everything that you do with your dog, not just for setting them up for success to stop them from jumping up. Guys, if you want to be able to have the same amount of success with your dog the way I am with my mate Bruno, all of our sanctuary dogs and the thousands of dogs I've helped at my behaviour centre, then you absolutely can, because that's why I created my Perfect Canine Companion course. It's a bundle of all of my most successful courses, including reactivity, pulling, recall, crate training, obedience, manners drills, my leadership is love course, and so much more. And it's exactly the process that I take all of the dogs that I work with in my sanctuary and in my centre to help them become the perfect canine companion that people have always wanted them to be. And if you are interested, there's a special discount for everybody that's watched this YouTube video when you click on the link in the description box below. And final thing is that the reason I'm able to run my sanctuary completely free of charge, never ask for a penny in terms of your guys' support, is because that we fund it entirely through the profits made on our courses on our online academy. So if you want to support the work that we do with dogs like Bruno in my sanctuary, all you have to do is help yourself become a high-level canine leader that can raise your own perfect canine companion. And by doing so, you support the dogs in the sanctuary. So if you're interested, click the link in the description box below. Can't wait to see you over there, but let's move on with exactly how we've helped my mate get over his jumping problem. So next up, we now have to close the wrong behavior highway. Now, we've gone through the process of teaching my mate Bruno exactly what it is that we do want from him. You can do it, come on. Yeah, good lad. We've gone through the process of helping him understand when channeling this excitement is appropriate. But what we have to have the ability to do is not just communicate, yes, this is what I do want from you, but we now have to communicate what we don't want. So when we comes to jumping, he knows that I like a heel, I like a sit. But just because I've taught him those things and we're having a lot of success with his obedience doesn't mean that when we go out in the real world and he meets somebody the first time that he will do that. We've made that desirable pathway as rewarding and reinforcing as possible, but we have to go through the process of putting him in real life situations where if he makes a bad decision, we interrupt that decision. And we go through the process of barricading off that negative behavior pathway. And to do that, we have to interrupt those bad decisions. We have to challenge those bad decisions in a language that he understands. Now, for him, that's going to be utilizing little bits of lead pressure alongside a verbal interruption so that I can communicate, hey, no, don't do that. Don't ever do that again in the future. But because I'm a fair, loving leader, I've had to communicate that to you. But what I do want you to do is that thing that we've just spent all that hard work on working on. Remember that heel, that sit position? That's all I need from you right now. And if you give me those things, everything will be fine. And that is the essence of my behavior highway system. Make the right decision as appealing as possible and completely shut off and barricade that bad decision. And with an excitable, really fun, happy-go-lucky dog like this, the teaching of the right behavior has been easy, has been incredibly fun, but it doesn't mean that he won't choose that wrong pathway. So it's my job as a loving leader, because I want him to thrive and succeed in life, is to close off that behavior decision. So then the final step is to start proofing the behavior out in the real world. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We've come to our local busy town. We've been in the town centre, we've been in coffee shops, now a park. There's hundreds of people here that we get to meet and greet. And we go through this process and helping him understand that he has to follow the desirable pathway. And if he makes a mistake, I'm going to communicate to him and close off that pathway. And we level up the distraction over time. We make it more and more and more complicated and make sure that I'm 100% confident that he is reliable no matter where we are or what's going on. Now I'm going to give you an example of exactly what that looks like. We set up a scenario here where I'm going to happen to bump into an old friend. And every time we come up and I know I'm going to stop, sit. I put Bruno in a sit position, then me and my old friend, we can have a chat. If Bruno sat off, as long as he sat down, mate, you can say hello to him. Now, if he makes a bad choice here to jump up Ben when he stops, I would communicate it. Sit. He got up. I'm challenging that decision of no, what I've asked from you is to say sat down. When he does so, and we're kind of, nice to meet you, mate, I'll catch you later. Bruno gets paid and off we go and we move on. And we set that process up over and over and over again. And we could do the same. This time it can be a little bit more of an excitable person. Mate, sit. Just wait for him to sit for me, please. Sit. Good. Now you can say hello to him. And if Bruno makes good decisions, he gets paid. Nice to see you, mate. I'll see you soon. And we move on. And it might sound simple or silly, but that's the process that we work through. And we are looking for all types of people that are willing to kind of help with the training. Now, most people want to meet a dog and greet a dog, and you just have to be able to just wait until he's sat down. Yeah, now you can say hello to him. And we set him up in scenarios and situations to see how he's going to behave. If he makes mistakes, we communicate to him that he's made mistakes. If he makes the right decision, we communicate to him that he's made the right decision. And we practice this over and over again in as many different real situations as possible until I'm 100% confident that the problem behavior has been solved. And if at any point in the future he forgets himself, it's really easy just to say, hey, nobody, remember, we don't do that. You know what's expected of you. Let's do that instead. Now, again, if you want to have your dog become your perfect canine companion and work on any problem that you might be facing, whether it's pulling, reactivity, jumping, barking, issues in the house, you name it, my Perfect Canine Companion course is designed to fix it. And remember, there's a special discount to thank all of my YouTube viewers in the description box below. And last but not least, that is exactly how I'm able to fund my sanctuary. We don't charge the rescues that we work with a penny. We don't charge the dog's future owners a penny. We take them through the entire process from start to finish, including helping the transition into the home, all because of your guys' support with our online academy. So I can't thank you enough. If you are struggling with your dog and you want more help, the link will be in the description box below. But thanks for watching, and me and Bruno will see you on the next video. Come on, bud.